A win is a win is a win, and the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark go up against the Las Vegas Aces and last year's MVP, A'ja Wilson, and walk away with a W, 80-70. Sophie Cunningham has been hot to trot. Sophie Cunningham has been on.
Sophie Cunningham is on fire, and I mean blazing hot. But what happens when the Indiana Fever lose their biggest star and still wipe the floor with A'ja Wilson's Las Vegas Aces? This game flipped the whole script on how people see this team. While Caitlin Clark sat on the bench nursing that groin injury, jawing at the refs, her squad handled business like pros. Kelsey Mitchell lit it up with 21 clutch points, and Sophie Cunningham, she just turned into the hottest player in the entire league, literally red hot. This wasn't just any win. It was a straight-up statement that shook the whole WNBA. So how did the Fever pull off this dominant upset?
Back in the W side.
Oh, that was a gut check win right there. Oh, nothing in the chat.
Yes, Natasha Howard!
That was a fun one. My gosh, and these jerseys are.
And what exactly did Sophie do to earn that red-hot crown? If Sophie's heated, then let's turn it all the way up and go. Picture the scene. Back-to-back losses to the Liberty. Your superstar rocking street clothes on the sideline with a painful groin injury, and doubt thick in the air. That's exactly where the Indiana Fever were when they walked into Gainbridge Fieldhouse on July 24th. The pressure was crushing after those two ugly losses. Everyone was asking, who are the Fever without Caitlin Clark? A 12-12 record didn't even tell half the story. Critics weren't just doubting their playoff chances, they were ready to bury the whole season. Social media dragged them hard. Sports talk shows called them frauds. And the narrative was savage. Take away Clark and you've got nothing special at all. The pressure was sky high. Every passing day felt heavier. Playoff seeding was on the line. Every single game mattered. And standing in their way? None other than A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces. Back-to-back champs who can smell weakness like sharks, smell blood. The Aces rolled into Indy rocking a 12-11 record, but acting like straight-up royalty. They had that championship swagger, and they knew the Fever were wounded. Coach Stephanie White felt that weight more than anyone. This game wasn't just another matchup. It was the moment.
Timeline for Caitlin, but what has she been able to do this last week? Is it mostly just rehab recovery, or has she been able to do any kinds of practice?
Yeah, no, I mean, we haven't really practiced since the couple days before All-Star break. So mostly rehab, shooting, and she's been with our athletic training team, and we've been preparing everybody.
Was her squad a real threat that could hang with the league's elite? Or were they just a team that only looked dangerous when Caitlin Clark was cooking? White had to dig deep and hit her players with words strong enough to kill the doubt creeping in. The Aces came in confident, borderline cocky. You could see it in their warm-up vibe. Their smirks said it all. A'ja Wilson and her Olympic crew had this one circled on the calendar from the moment Clark went down. This was their golden shot to expose Indiana as nothing but a one-woman show in disguise. And let's be real, Wilson's been salty about Clark's spotlight for 2 seasons straight. This was personal. She wanted to prove to everyone who the real MVP was, and she was ready to flex in front of the whole league. The Aces came in looking to make a statement, their chance to scream, "Championships matter more than hype." But then, everything flipped. Sometimes, the best thing for a team is to be counted out completely, and that's exactly what lit a fire under Indiana. All that doubt, they flipped it into pure fuel. Their biggest weakness became their secret weapon. And what happened next? It shocked the entire WNBA, sending a message loud and clear. This team is far from finished. The Fever were about to show everyone that champions aren't built when everything's perfect. They're forged when everything goes straight up wrong. And when a team needs a hero, it's not always the loudest voice that steps up. It's sometimes the quiet one.
Caitlin presents a challenge in itself for any opponent, but when she doesn't play, how is your team different?
I think our ball moves differently. What we run is different. She has such gravity and her ability, not just to be the top of the scouting report, but her ability to make everybody better with the ball in her hands. So some of the things that we run are different when she's on the floor than when she's not. We run some more off-ball stuff. a lot less on ball.
Enter Kelsey Mitchell. She'd been catching heat all season for being inconsistent, with critics calling her out for disappearing in big moments. The numbers didn't lie. One night she'd explode for 20 points, the next she'd go 3 for 15 and vanish when it mattered most. And early in this game against the Aces, it looked like the haters were right. Mitchell bricked her first few shots completely out of rhythm. You could see the frustration on her face, every miss cutting deeper. The Gainbridge Fieldhouse crowd started to get tense, the energy shifting. They could feel the offense crumbling without Caitlin Clark's magic on the floor. Magic! Mitchell felt every single miss like a brick in her backpack. The pressure was crushing, 4 of 19 from the field through 3 quarters. Those are the type of numbers that get players glued to the bench in crunch time. But Coach Stephanie White had other plans. During a timeout, White pulled her aside and dropped the words that would flip the whole game. Let it fly. It's gonna go. Simple, but powerful. That hit Mitchell exactly where she needed it. White reminded her to stay balanced, keep attacking the rim smart, and trust her reads. And her teammates? They had her back in ways you can't measure on a stat sheet. They fed her better looks, set rock-solid screens, and cleared lanes like their season depended on it. Then something clicked. In the second half, Mitchell found her fire. She was torching the Aces from everywhere, blowing by defenders, finishing through contact, and pulling up for silky mid-range jumpers that didn't even touch the rim. By the fourth quarter, this was Mitchell's personal showcase. A one-woman highlight reel when the game hung by a thread. She dropped 9 clutch points in the final 12 minutes. And the crowd? Straight up losing it.
It's definitely a relief to know that there's nothing else going on and no more damage. Now it's just being patient with the process. You can't have 5-minute lapses against great teams. They make you pay, and they bury you in those moments. I think we've seen, throughout the course of the season, where we've been really good for long stretches, and where we've weathered the ups and downs of a game, and we've got to be able to do that from a neutral mindset. We can't get into the play.
When it mattered most, Mitchell went 4 for 5 from the field, straight up clutch. On top of that, she dished out 4 assists, tying the team high. She wasn't just scoring, she was orchestrating, creating plays for her teammates while still taking on the scoring burden like a boss. By the time the buzzer hit, Mitchell had dropped 21 points, silencing every critic who doubted her ability to lead in crunch time. Remember those people saying she didn't have the mental toughness? Yeah, that talk died fast. After that Liberty loss, she promised to stay locked in, and she delivered. This wasn't just about covering Caitlin Clark's production. It was Mitchell stepping into the leader role this team had been waiting for all along. But while everyone kept obsessing over who would replace Clark's buckets, Sophie Cunningham was out here quietly morphing into the league's deadliest shooter. She came into this game riding a fire-hot streak, double figures in 6 straight matchups and heating up every single night. Her numbers were wild, 13.7 points, 4.7 rebounds, and splashing 3 triples a game. The question wasn't if Sophie could shoot. Everybody knew she had the strap. The real test? Could she keep this insane pace against a championship squad like A'ja Wilson's Aces? The pressure was real, and teams were already starting to game plan just to stop her. And honestly, those numbers were so good they almost didn't feel real. Sophie Cunningham was on a different level, shooting a ridiculous 58.1% from deep over her last 6 games. That wasn't just hot, that was lava hot, making her the single deadliest shooter in the WNBA for the entire month of July. And don't get it twisted, these weren't empty garbage time threes. These were cold-blooded daggers, hitting exactly when the Fever needed them most. And against the Aces, she kept the streak alive like a sniper under pressure. Cunningham went 3 for 4 from beyond the arc, finishing with 15 points. But these weren't just 15 points on paper. These were perfectly timed kill shots that crushed every single Las Vegas comeback attempt. Anytime the Aces started cooking, bang! Sophie buried another 3, snatching their momentum right back.
Okay, we answered runs today, y'all. We had one another's back today, y'all. In the moments where it seemed like they could have made a little bit of a comeback, we stopped that. Yeah, we sure did. Now we have to be able to continue to stack that, maintain that consistency right there. I'm so proud of you guys. So proud of you guys. That was a hard-fought win. You earned it. Together on 3, 1, 2, 3. Together.
What makes her special isn't just the shooting. She brings rebounds, defense, leadership, basically all the stuff that wins games. Coach Stephanie White even moved her into the starting lineup to fully unleash her energy and versatility. White praised her for stretching the floor, locking down on D, and being another ball handler who could create shots when needed. Now analysts are hyping Sophie as the front runner for 6th Player of the Year. And honestly, who's even close? One analyst flat out called her an assassin for her clutch shooting. Cunningham's glow-up has been wild, going from a role player to a full-on problem for defenses across the league. She's no longer a complimentary piece. She's one of the most feared shooters out there. Some fans are even saying haters owe Sophie a public apology for ever doubting her game. Sophie Cunningham's consistency and ice-cold clutch gene have become the perfect weapon for Indiana's championship push. And when Caitlin Clark returns, she's stepping into a squad that already has another proven scorer who can flip momentum on a dime. Cunningham has shown she belongs on basketball's biggest stage, but this game had one more hero waiting to write her own moment. With just 35 seconds left and the game hanging by a thread, Ari McDonald stepped up for the shot that would define this victory. The Fever were clinging to a 5-point lead, but against a 2-time champion like Las Vegas, that's barely breathing room. The Aces had been clawing back all fourth quarter, and everyone in the arena knew they were one stop and one big shot away from stealing it. And then it happened. McDonald caught the ball at the top of the arc. Aja Wilson's squad scrambling to mount one last desperate push. The pressure was unreal. Miss this, and Vegas has life. Make it, and you break their soul completely. McDonald didn't flinch, didn't blink. She rose up with pure confidence, launching a fearless step-back 3 that felt destined the second it left her fingertips. Splash. Network game over. That dagger stretched the lead and shattered the Aces' hopes in one clean stroke. An ice-cold moment that sealed the Fever's biggest win of the year.
Story we have been following throughout the past 2 days surrounds the superstar herself, Caitlin Clark, the WNBA star, the Indiana Fever star, Caitlin Clark. She's going to miss all the action on the court.
Lloyd got loose on the other end, but it didn't matter. Gainbridge Fieldhouse erupted like a volcano. The fans knew they had just witnessed something special. Ari McDonald went a perfect 3 for 3 from deep, finishing with 9 points, 4 assists, and 2 steals in just 22 minutes. And that clutch step-back 3? It was her only shot in the fourth quarter. Talk about making it count when it mattered most. But McDonald wasn't the only one cooking. Natasha Howard put down a flat-out monster game. 18 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 steals, completely controlling both ends of the floor. After the game, Howard summed it up perfectly. Our defense gets our offense going. When the defense is rolling, our offense is rolling too. McDonald's dagger 3 was the perfect exclamation mark on Howard's dominance, and the whole building felt it. Even Caitlin Clark, rocking street clothes and still nursing that groin injury, jumped up off the bench, full of energy. She was screaming, fist-pumping, and hyping up her squad like she was on the floor herself. That one shot didn't just lock down the win. It also secured the season series tiebreaker against the defending champs, a huge factor for playoff seeding. The Fever didn't just beat Las Vegas. They sent a message. This game wasn't just a win. It was a statement. The Indiana Fever proved they're not just Caitlin Clark and friends. They're a squad. From Kelsey Mitchell's fearless takeover to Sophie Cunningham's dead-eye shooting, to Ari McDonald's ice-cold dagger and Natasha Howard's dominance, this was a complete team victory. And let's not forget the energy on that bench. Caitlin Clark, rocking street clothes, still screaming and celebrating like she hit that shot herself. That's culture. That's heart. That's what playoff basketball is all about. So what do you think? Is this the turning point that takes the Fever from potential to problem for the whole league? Should Sophie be leading the 6th Player of the Year conversation right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to share. Because this Fever team just put the WNBA on notice.
This is wild. WNBA All-Star Weekend. It's supposed to be the star of all stars. All the big dogs is out. Asia Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, everybody's out. The big dogs are out. You got the rookie, you got Angel Reese, Miss Me Too. All of the stars are here. And look at this news. The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48% from $121 to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing. Uh-oh, spaghetti.
The Indiana Fever didn't just win a game, they changed the conversation. No more one-woman show talk, no more doubting their depth. This team proved they can punch back hard, even when their superstar is on the sideline. Kelsey Mitchell silenced every critic. Sophie Cunningham is looking like the most dangerous shooter in the league. Aari McDonald delivered one of the coldest clutch shots of the season. And Natasha Howard was an absolute workhorse. Add Caitlin Clark coming back soon. That's nightmare fuel for the rest of the league. So what's your take? Did the Fever just announce themselves as legit championship contenders? Or was this just a lucky night against the champs? Tell us below, comment your thoughts, hit that like button, subscribe for more WNBA drama, and share this with every Fever fan you know, because this ride is just getting started. This wasn't just a regular season win. It felt like the start of something bigger. Indiana showed they have the depth, the grit, and the fire to take down anybody, even the defending champs. And with Caitlin Clark set to return, this team might just be on a collision course with history. Sophie Cunningham's lights-out shooting, Kelsey Mitchell's clutch takeover, Natasha Howard's all-around dominance, and Aari McDonald's ice-cold dagger. This was the definition of team basketball. So now we gotta ask, is this the turning point that changes everything? Can the Fever actually become the team to beat when the playoffs roll around? Drop your answer in the comments right now, smash that like button, subscribe for all the latest WNBA drama, and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what happens next with this squad. Now holding a 2-1 record over Las Vegas, the Fever owned that crucial season series tiebreaker. A massive advantage when playoff seeding is on the line.
We shall never know peace, at least when it comes to the WNBA space. It was this ad that Angel put out, and I don't know if this is part of a larger campaign where it's going to be similar themes in similar places, but because of where the WNBA All-Star Game is, and because of who plays on the Indiana Fever in the home city of the WNBA All-Star Game, it's going to raise some eyebrows.
And this wasn't just another regular season win. This was a statement about what this squad can accomplish together. This was more than a victory. It was a declaration that the Indiana Fever are built for championship runs in 2025 and beyond. With Mitchell's leadership, Cunningham's flamethrower shooting, McDonald's clutch gene, and a defensive identity that refuses to quit, this team has something special that goes way beyond any single player. At 13-12, they now sit 6th in the WNBA standings and just sent the defending champs a brutal message. Indiana can beat anyone, anywhere, anytime. And when Caitlin Clark returns, she's walking into a team that's already proven it can handle business. The future is blazing hot in Indiana, so comment Red Hot Sophie. If you're fired up, smash that like button, hit subscribe, share with every Fever fan you know, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a moment. Click the video on your screen, and we'll see you in the next one.